Hi, folks. Welcome to We Be Fishing, the viewable podcast right here on YouTube. That's a spinoff of the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel. Now, today we're asking you a few questions. The title of this episode is, What is Sport Fishing? Now, in some states it's called sports fishing, some type, or states it's called recreational fishing, and so on. And a lot of times it determines what fish are allowed to be listed as, state records. All right. So we're going to try and define that a little bit together. Maybe the states in some areas have it right. Maybe some have it wrong. Maybe we just need to take a look at different things and see if we can get things right and fair for everybody, and maybe enhance the desire for people to want to go out and fish or sport fish. Now, I made a post the other day about something, and it was about a catch someone had made, and it got blown up pretty good, and a lot of arguments and debates and discussion and so on and so forth went on a lot of these different fishing sites, for instance on Facebook. And there's been several people commented on the issue or on the episode itself right here on the channel, but there was a lot, and some of it got kind of heated out there, so we're not really focused specifically on that story, but it brought this question up, and how we should define this and what could or should really qualify to go in the category of sports or recreational fishing. Now, a lot of people think about sport fishing and you think about the ocean and saltwater fishing and catching those big fish out there. But not all of us have access to the ocean, and we fish right here in the fresh waters, and it's a little different what we're obviously fishing for. So how it's designed by each state as to what qualifies and what doesn't, we're kind of looking at and seeing what you think about it. Now, as a rule, what most people consider sport fishing, I've seen it stated where sports fishing is you're out in a boat generally. No, it also means you can be on the bank. But it usually refers to rod and reel fishing only as sport fishing. All right. Well, anybody can take a rod and reel and tie a hook to it and put a little weight on it maybe and throw it out, bait it up, and catch fish. That in itself doesn't take a lot of skill. But then you've got other things where people are out there, they're bumping, they're dragging, they're pulling baits, they're suspending baits, they're, like I said, you're drifting. There's all kinds of different tactics usually at play when you're actually doing sport fishing. Now, a sport to me, I come from a sport background of I played different sports throughout the years, but 40 years of martial arts and competition and so on and so forth. And competition is what a lot of people consider sport. If you're not actually competing, you're just, practicing or whatever. But, we look at it as if you're competing. If it's a competition, it falls in that sports category. All right. So in rod and reel fishing, if there's competition, that's sports or recreational fishing. One thing I found online, it said sports or recreational fishing is for relaxation, it's for exercise and or sport. So putting it in the sports/recreational fishing, it's for sport competition, relaxation, exercise, and so on. Okay, so with that established, we can see that easily with using rod and reel fishing, and you're using tactics out there. All right. Again, there's so many things, especially in catfishing world, how things have developed so much over just really a short period of time. We're not usually just pitching, sitting on the bank and not doing anything. Now, if you're a bank fisherman, you're still doing some of that. But you may still be targeting brush piles. We're going to shoot for the flats and go here, or we're going to try and hit the drop off or the deeper water if we can cast that far. So you still got some type of strategy at play. Now, when you're in a boat, you're again got some more options there. But there's another type of thing, and this is what brought this up, was the story from the other day, and is a different sport. And it should it still be in the same one? What the big controversy was should this catch that happened on something other than a rod and reel count in the record books? All right. Well, what it was jug fishing. Somebody caught this, a young lady caught this big fish on a jug. And in this state, it was going to now become the number one biggest catfish. It was a blue catfish on the record books in that state. And some people are saying, no, it's not fair because it wasn't a rod and reel catch. And other people say it absolutely was. If she had to fight it and pull it in and get it in and all that, then it absolutely was. Now, I will go ahead and tell you a couple of things. On jug fishing, which we do on our show from time to time as well, jug fishing, we use the very same strategies as we do with rod and reel. We check out the area. We want to know the depths. We want to know the fish column, or if we're going to make a jug, we're going to have it stationary, weight it to the bottom, over near, let's say, a big brush pile or something like that. It's the same thing that we would be doing if we're fishing for a flathead, maybe in that area, with a rod and reel. Now, we may be, suspending these baits and having them stationary throughout the water, or we may have them drifting, just like you would in a boat. So we're using the same baits, the same type of strategy, same techniques. It's just one's in a jug, one's not. Now, you say it's, but now you got these jugs and they're spaced out all over the place. Now, okay, you cast this way, you cast that way, you suspend some, you drag some, you run some on planer boards, which pulls them out and drags them differently, right? And you have them all set up. You can almost be set up and spread out pretty much as anybody using any jugs. Now, people say, yeah, but people can run a lot more jugs in some states. That is absolutely true. Now, but in my state, or the Commonwealth in Kentucky here's something to think about. We are allowed technically 50 jugs in this state, but we're allowed limitless number of rods and reels that we can use out there. So if we wanted to put 51, 52 on a boat, or you want to line the bank up that way, we've got more hooks in the water and baits with rod and reels than a person would with jugs. Now, usually when somebody jug fish, it's not with that many jugs. Now, also, here's the big kicker. With jug fishing, it is now a sport. There are tournaments out there being done for jug fishing. That's right, tournaments out there. Winning awards, winning money, fighting for point standings in the race on tournament circuits. That's right, there's tournament circuits out there for jugging for catfish. So it is definitely a sport. It is a form of competition. So that would make it sport fishing, folks, right there. That alone. Easy slam dunk win in a courtroom. Very easy. All right, so that being said, it is a sport. Like it, don't like it, it is what it is, folks. It is legal, and it is a sport. Now, this becomes the real issue nowadays. Now that that is established as a sport, should it be allowed in the record books for let's say, a trophy-sized fish? All right, here's my view. I'm going to say yes. But I'm also going to put a caveat on that and say it should not be in the same category as a rod and reel. So, in other words, you have, just like in hunting, you have, modern gun, and then you have traditional, and then you have archery, and all that. You have different categories, right? And I think it should be the same way with fishing. Now, why I say that is for a couple of reasons, all right? One, it doesn't allow the jug fishing record fish to outshine or take away from what somebody did on a rod and reel. Now, some people think rod and reel fishing is easier because you have that flexible rod, you have a drag width, you can play that fish and wear that fish out easier on a rod and reel than manhandling and fighting a jug to get that fish up. So that's something else to keep in mind. But we don't want the jug fishing record to outshine, in a sense, by knocking that rod and reel catch off the list of the records. So it should be technically in two different categories. Jugging category, rod and reel category. All right. Now, why is that a good thing? Well, both of them take their certain amount of skill. They take the technique, the effort, and so on and so forth. And so that's all important. But now if we have two possibilities at records out there, we're encouraging more people to try for those records, right? So that helps, in a sense, to promote fishing within your state by having a chance, two shots in that scenario of types of fishing. Now, if you want to categorize it, some states will allow trot line fishing catches to be on the record books. Now, most will not. So if you want to do that, again, that's a different skill set. We'll say that should have its own category, and so on and so forth. So what I would like to know is, should catfish that are caught on jugs records count over the rod and reels and knock them off the record, or should there be two separate categories allowing for each to have their record catch recognized and in the record books? That's what we like to know. Again, this thing really, really blew up, and some people I've heard all kinds of things that people out there trying to say, no, this was an illegal catch, this was that, so on and so forth, just to try and keep it out of the records, I believe, because I've not found anything that would disqualify the fish that was caught. And trust me, I've been looking. I've heard people state things, but I've seen nothing that backs that up. But with that being said and set aside, because this has happened in many states, folks, where record-sized fish have been caught, let's say, on a jug, but it didn't qualify because it didn't count in that state, unfortunately. And, folks, that record should be recognized. That person's efforts and catch should be recognized and acknowledged. So, it is my opinion, and again, we're each going to have our own here, that it should be on the record books, but in a different category from the rod and reel. Folks, let us know what you think about this, please. Like I said, it is definitely a hot button topic right now, and this catch that just happened really kind of blew it up. And I'll go ahead and tag that show, that episode of ours, so you can view it and see the comments and why maybe I believe what I believe on this. But be sure to, in the comments, put in there what you think. Share this show or this episode with somebody else, and so that we can get their reaction as well. Hopefully DNR's out there, and just like Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, hopefully all these people are listening and seeing what others think on this topic, and maybe we can get some things changed if they need to be changed out there in states. Maybe some states are going to keep it obviously just like it is because maybe they've already got it set that way. Who knows? But let's hear what you've got to think. Or you guys think for sure. We definitely want to know. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, because when you do, you not only get the We Be Fishing, you get the B&T Catfishing Adventures channel as well. And again, give us a thumbs up on this. We'd sure appreciate it. And it so helps the channel. We can't even tell you. Folks, you guys have a great day. Please, again, let us hear from you in the comments section. You guys take care. And we'll see you again real soon, right back here at We Be Fishing. Have a great day.